What's up, guys? It's Nidings here, and I'm back with another video. Today, we're going to be doing an Eagles-Jaguars preview of the upcoming game this Sunday with a very special guest. This is Dante from the East Coast Gridiron podcast. If you do know him, if you don't know him, basically, East Coast Gridiron is a really, really big YouTube channel with a lot of great YouTubers, including a lot of great YouTubers in Eagles YouTubers in Papa Sora, Big Play Slay. And we also got a big Texans YouTuber and Coach Dante. But Dante over here, I know they kind of similar names, is going to be a Jacksonville Jaguars fan, and he's going to be part of the East Coast Gridiron podcast. And he's going to be chopping it up with me right here today. So, Dante, why don't, even though I just gave you an introduction, why don't you introduce yourself?
Man, I'm excited, man. I know we've been talking about this for a minute, but yeah, I mean, like you said, I am the host and creator of the East Coast Gridiron podcast. We have a couple members, like you said, Coach Dante, Papa Sor, Vic 3. All those guys have been super integral into what we've been trying to accomplish. And I can't forget about Don, the stats guru, who started this with me. So he's been there since the beginning. But yeah, you know me, man. I run a YouTube channel that's got a podcast and a bunch of shows on it, and I occasionally like to do informational videos or videos related to football, college, and NFL all the way through. So I mean, where everybody can find me. I'm sure you're going to have the logo up here somewhere, and it's if you see the ECG logo, it's probably our channel. I mean, literally, you can put East Coast Gridiron into Google, and all of our stuff should come up. So, like I said, if you guys want to subscribe, if you guys want to like, it's not going to hurt our feelings if you don't. But if you genuinely do like the content and you do come over and subscribe to the channel, we appreciate it. Every single subscriber, every single like, every single comment that does come through. And, hope you enjoy the community that we've brought up. And I know Nighting's one of the things we were talking about before that you do enjoy is the college football revamp series that we do. So we do a little bit of gaming over here where I actually have a community team of like a bunch of people in the community, some people in East Coast Gridiron where, we set out a different player and all of them play on the field. So, it's very cool. It's very engaging. So there's a plethora of content for you guys to enjoy. So, but, more importantly, I'm happy to be here talking about the Jaguars, which is something I don't really do on my channel a lot since we're not really dedicated around the Jaguars. So, but really going to enjoy this conversation because I get to kind of take a step away from, my comfort in just talking all football and just narrow it down to one team.
Hey, yeah, absolutely. Hey, thank you for coming on to the show. I was really excited to have you on because you're extremely intelligent in the game. I mean, you did play quarterback for your high school, and you know the ins and outs of this game of football. And I like how you said, East Coast Gridiron, it's not just NFL. We have gaming streams where we do a college football revamp. We talk about you guys talk about college football, and you also have a college football show where you talk about the upcoming games. You have that for the NFL. You guys have it all, and you guys are doing an amazing job. And I will for sure have the East Coast Gridiron links in the chat, as well as the socials, the Twitter, Instagram, stuff like that. All right. Of course, got you. And also, you also said you don't really talk about Jaguars in the East Coast Gridiron show, but hey, I'm excited to talk to you face to face. We've not really done that much, here in this channel, and you're going to get to talk about your Jacksonville Jaguars, which, spoiler alert, I am honestly a little nervous for this game. This game streams trap. I really do like your guys' front seven as well. Your offense has improved a lot under Doug Peterson, who is our former head coach. I mean, that's the storyline there. So, we're going to have a lot of fun talking about those storylines and, the players to watch out for this game. But, let's get into it. But I have one more thing to tell you guys. You know the deal. Remember to please subscribe, turn on the bell for notifications. We're at 256, super close to 260 and 300, and we're also close to 12,000 views. Big milestones coming up. I know we just hit 250 and 10K, but you know the deal. Keeps going. Of course, please like this video, whether you're watching it as a premiere or just a regular video. It's still not decided if it's going to be a premiere video, but wherever you are, if you could like, comment, and follow my socials and my Discord server, all links below in the description, I would greatly appreciate that. Without further ado, play that intro video. Let's get it.
And he's trying to extend! Touchdown! Philadelphia Eagles on Jalen Hurts!
All right, fellas, welcome back. You know how we like to get into it. You just get right into it, just like I said. All right, the first segment is going to be about my Eagles offense. I'll start it off, but of course, for Dante's Jaguars offense, I will let him talk because it's not just me talking. We have a special guest right here. You know, pretty rude if I did not let my special guest speak at all. All right, so
All good.
all right, so let's get right into the Eagles offense. All right, so obviously you know the guy that's sailing the ship, Jalen Hurts, or quarterback one, and he's had a massive improvement from last year. And people are even saying, you know, he's going to be an MVP conversation this year. And I love the talk, but I get it. It's only week 4. I'm not saying they're completely wrong whatsoever, but I'm just going to wait until the season because I do not want to jinx this man whatsoever. Like Jalen Hurts on the past, you know, I've been a Hurts believer. Of course, I've criticized him. You know, I mean, obviously criticism is needed. You can't just keep praising the guy. I mean, criticism and feedback is always needed, but his passing game has improved a lot. People said before that he didn't have a big arm or a strong arm, and that does not make any sense to me because these games have showed he has a fully capable arm. And the thing I love about Jalen Hurts this year is he's throwing to places he would not even attempted to do last year. He's more confident with the football. He's reading the defense well. He's throwing the football really accurately as well. And I don't know why people said this, but he has a great arm. All right. Obviously, you saw some overthrows that last game for the Commanders. But like Papa Sora said, who's another part of the ECG crew, I like overthrows. That seems like a very weird thing for me to say. But, you know, underthrows, I mean,
I'd rather you overthrow than underthrow as a quarterback any day of the week.
Exactly. At least when he overthrows it, it proves to all the people who doubted his arm that he actually has an arm. And I mean, most of the time, an overthrow is not a pick. It's just an incompletion. And an underthrow is just not good whatsoever. That shows him he doesn't have an arm, but that's not true. He absolutely does have an arm. And yeah, especially, and the big elephant in the room, the dual threat mobility. When Hurts is in the pocket and the pocket collapses and we need a first down, Hurts can run and get that first down for us, and he can extend the drive. Now, that is a dangerous ability for a quarterback to have. He's doing good on both sides of the ball, of running and passing. So, you know, there's not much criticism to say about Hurts for this season. Right? So far, you know, again, the season's not over, but so far he is playing at a great level, and I'm glad we stuck with Hurts because no offense to Browns fans, but I am so glad we did not get Deshaun Watson over this man. I believe in Hurts' potential, and you know the way he's just proving all the haters wrong this season right now is excellent. So keep doing your thing, Hurts. I mean, obviously we have a game to win this Sunday. We have a season to play, but for now, great stuff so far. Now let me go to our rushing game. Obviously, we have Miles Sanders, the running back one, followed by Kenneth Gainwell and Boston Scott, who is listed as out for this game. You know, against the Commanders last week, our run did not really get going. Wasn't nearly as productive as the other first 2 weeks. And just, yeah, that was the Commanders game. That was a big passing game for us, which is fine. But, you know, I really do want to see the run, you know, improve from the last Commanders game, even though we obviously still won that game, more of a passing game. But, you know, Miles Sanders, if you guys did not know this channel, I mean, you can literally see in my profile picture right now that is literally Miles Sanders. He is my favorite player. You know, did not score any touchdowns last season. Finally, week 1, did score a touchdown. You know, great stuff to him. But, I mean, hey, I'm not saying it's his fault whatsoever, but the running game did not get going. I do really want to see it against the Jaguars because even though that Jaguars front 7 is still really good, I still want to see more of that running game. And that's up to our offensive line, which is a great unit, you know, to get that running game going. Of course, passing game, that's already been improved and still doing great this season, right? Kenneth Gainwell as well, another guy that I really, really wanted to see improve this season as well. He was a rookie from, I believe, Kentucky that we got last year or year before. I believe he's a sophomore this year. Okay, so wide receivers. A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Quez
Kenneth
Watkins.
Gainwell, you said?
Yeah, Kenneth Gainwell.
He was from Memphis.
Oh, well, my apologies. That is completely
Close.
for me.
Close. One blue team to another blue team.
Yeah, that's true. And I mean, hey, if you remember, Micah Parsons, Penn State Nittany Lion, in that bowl game, we saw Kenneth Gainwell absolutely, chuck him off the face of the earth. And at the time when I was a Penn State fan, obviously that sucked. But now Micah Parsons is a Dallas Cowboy, so you got to think about that as well. Weird how tables just turn quickly like that. But it is college to NFL. You never know what team you're going to get drafted to. So there's that. All right, and now to the wide receivers. All right, I don't know if you saw this, Dante, but we have this kind of trend with the wide receivers, calling the Batman. I don't know if you've seen it.
I've seen it.
Yeah, it's become a big trend on Eagles social media, and I'm absolutely here for it. I think it's amazing. We have A.J. Brown, swole Batman, Devontae Smith, skinny Batman. By the way, people are saying, don't draft Devontae Smith because of his size. I was like, literally just like that. I didn't think much of that. I mean, obviously, size in an NFL player matters, but with how Devontae Smith did so well in that Alabama Crimson Tide season, I was very high on him. I was like, I want Devontae Smith this draft, and then Howie got exactly what I wanted. So, Devontae Smith, too, played great football, especially after that Commanders game as well. Quez Watkins, fast Batman. You saw that incredible touchdown from him, that Minnesota Vikings game. I've said this so many times on the channel that I don't care. I'm still saying this. This may take you aback. I know I'm comparing him to, an excellent Eagles wide receiver in history, but Quez honestly does remind me of Deshaun Jackson. I love Deshaun Jackson, but the amazing speed Deshaun Jackson had, especially the straight line speed. I mean, you see many times how Deshaun Jackson completely burns the defense, and be it Donovan McNabb, Michael Vick, delivering dime right to Deshaun Jackson, and he goes right into the end zone untouched. Like, that is Deshaun Jackson right there. And, of course, the flashy celebration before going to end zone. It's not a Deshaun Jackson touchdown if you do not have that flashy celebration at the end. And I honestly think Quez Watkins does remind me of Deshaun Jackson. He has the great speed. You saw him with the straight line speed, or not really straight line speed, but, going upfield. Especially, I think it was, for the Vikings, Bynum that was beaten. I don't know. I don't remember that play. I don't know. It might have been Bynum that was beaten in that play.
That guy was buns, man.
Buns in that game, or just the season in general?
In that game specifically, I know it was kind of a misread on him, but it was really bad when I seen Quez Watkins just run past him and him get confused on where his read was.
Yeah.
Quez Watkins is not running in a straight line for no reason, so that's probably the guy that you need to block downfield, but or to cover downfield. But it's neither here nor there at this point. It's worth calling out that it was kind of silly.
That's true. Yeah, Cam Bynum did mess up on that play big time, but hey, I'm not complaining. It got us a score, so it's amazing. All right, there's fast Batman for you. That's why it reminds me of Deshaun Jackson. And Zach Pascal, Big Play Slay, another Eagles content creator, said this perfectly in the ECG Discord server. He does all of the dirty work. If you see his stats alone, you probably think, wow, he's so bad. He doesn't have all the flashy stats. That's far from the truth. He is not bad whatsoever. He does all the dirty work, like blocking. I think there was this one play, I really try and explain it, where he ran a route and that opened things for Devontae Smith when he ran his route, and that gave Devontae open space to go up the sideline. My point is basically Pascal, even if he doesn't look like he has all the flashy stats, it doesn't matter. He does the dirty work behind the scenes, and he contributes to the team, and that's all that matters. Everybody on the team needs to contribute, and Zach Pascal is doing his job, and I love it, right? And those are our wide receivers, right? It's really love what I've seen from all of them. I mean, hey, week one, I was critical of how we did not spread the ball around. I'm not saying don't throw to AJ Brown. I'm just like that was a huge AJ Brown game, and it's excellent to see that Hurts connection to AJ Brown and how we abused the Lions defense with that. But I still wanted to see our other play. Excuse me. I still want to see our other wide receivers and Dallas Goedert, because I was really excited about how we got AJ Brown, a wide receiver one, and how the other guys, that would open up things for them, and they would also have great seasons. But fortunately, Steichen and Sirianni did fix that by week 2, and we started to see more of the other playmakers, and it's amazing. And I mean, Dallas Goedert as well, also playing really, really good football so far, right? And Grant Calcaterra, I want to talk about him. Let's hope I don't get the college wrong this time. I believe he played for SMU. SMU, that is my guess. Am I right on that?
Grant Calcaterra? Yep, you're right about that. He played at SMU. Previous to that, he did play with Jalen Hurts at Oklahoma. So he actually sat out a year, I believe, because of his concussion issues. Then went to SMU and had a really good season between him and Tanner Mordecai. So their quarterback now, who's an absolute monster. But yeah, Grant Calcaterra was an SMU deep threat at tight end.
Exactly. And hey, just saying, Calcaterra got his first catch in the NFL. Congratulations to him. I believe it was 40 yards. Really, really good catch to start him in the league. Again, welcome to the NFL, Mr. Grant Calcaterra. Mm-hmm. And, I just love the offense, Grant Calcaterra brings. I know tight end is obviously. You block, you run routes just like a wide receiver. But the offensive output from Grant Calcaterra, especially sitting behind Dallas Goedert, who then sat behind Zach Ertz, our tight end room is looking really, really nice. And I can't wait to see, God forbid, I mean, I never want to see this, but if Dallas Goedert, does leave this team somehow, then Grant Calcaterra is going to be the next man up, and he's going to be coached by Dallas Goedert too. So, and also I want to talk about that for the offensive line too. Let's go on to the offensive line. I think that's all I really wanted to say there. Offensive line, our unit is awesome. Jeff Stoutland, dude, every Eagles fan is a huge believer of him. He's excellent offensive line coach. Even if you don't think Kelsey's the best center in football, you at least think he's one of the best. Like that's how excellent he is. All right. Lane Johnson at right tackle. He's been a solid, consistent guy for that spot. For being foggy on it for at least a few years. I don't know. Hold on. Let me double check that. I believe I'm guessing he was drafted 2013. Wow, I'm way off. So he's been a right tackle for almost 10 years so far, and how consistent he's been. It's been great from Lane Johnson. You remember Jordan Mailata? He didn't even play football when he was in Australia. He played rugby. I mean, obviously not the same sport, but with how much athleticism and size he has, he was well suited for an offensive line job in the NFL. Now look at him; he's been really consistent. And you can even make the argument he's one of the best left tackles in the league. I mean, you can make that argument. You can disagree, stuff like that. But I honestly think he has the potential for it. And it's really impressive because he didn't even play football, when he was in Australia, which is crazy how he learned so quick. All right, Landon Dickerson, also really, really nice spot for left guard. Dude, I remember when Landon Dickerson got picked in the NFL draft, and I honestly – there's been this trend where an offensive lineman gets picked, and I'm a little frustrated because I want a defensive player. This happened this year with Cam Jurgens too, and I was like, why not Nakobe Dean? And the very, very shocking part, even though he was injured, so that's why he fell, was we got Nakobe Dean anyways. So, excellent. And I mean, Landon Dickerson, I said if this guy stays healthy, he's going to be a great addition to this offensive line. And right now, he looks like a solid choice. Left guard, Isaac Seumalo as well. Also super consistent with that right guard spot. I'm just saying this offensive line group is amazing. And that's going to be paired up with that great Jaguars front seven. That's going to be excellent battle to watch. So, yeah, I know I've talked so much this segment. I do apologize. But the floor is now yours.
It's all good.
And you get to talk about your Jaguars offense. So, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, the Jaguars offense, what can I say? They've been playing really, really well. And nobody's been more critical of the Jaguars than I have. And, it's been I've been a Jaguars fan since I was a little boy, since they had the inception of the team back in 1995. So I still have my 1999 Mark Brunell jersey somewhere that's older than Big Play Slay and Papa Sawyer and probably you as well. So that thing has been holding on for a very, very long time. And
Yeah.
I'm glad that they are doing well because I haven't been the biggest fan of not only the regime changes that we've gone through, but just, you know, the organization itself has just been in shambles. But it's good to see us have success. It's good to see us now start off the season 2-1. I felt like I haven't said that since the 2017 season that was a total collapse right after. And I hate our organization for doing what they did by splitting all those players up and getting rid of them. But now we're stuck with the team that we have. I'm kind of going to go in reverse order because everybody thinks that probably Trevor Lawrence is, we're going to speak about him first. But I did want to call out Cam Robinson. I know he got paid this off season, and the amount of money that he got is I don't think that he's really showing his aptitude as of right now, being our left tackle. I do think he can be better, but I want to call out another guy that got drafted probably in the same year as him. I can't remember. Jawan Taylor is the right tackle. He's been playing out of this world this season, and I'm very, very happy that he's starting to catch his groove, and he'll be the next guy to get paid for sure. Everybody else, Brandon Scherf is doing his thing on the offensive line. I know we got him from Washington. Then you move up right to tight end. Evan Ingram, say what you want. 12 catches on 15 targets. He has about 80 something yards right now. He had a big 7-catch game before this game in Washington. The guy is a stud, man. He's proving everything that, when he's healthy, how he can be as a tight end. And I'm super duper excited for his maturation process with us. We got him pretty cheap as well in free agency. Chris Manhurts and Dan Arnold, everybody's expecting Dan Arnold was probably going to be that guy, but he ended up not being what we thought he was. Marvin Jones Jr. has been a solid pickup for us as long as he stays healthy at wide receiver. Zay Jones, this is one of those guys, and I know you've been paying attention a lot to the Eagles, and I've paid attention a lot to the Jaguars and all the other teams, but more so the Jaguars, him and Trevor Lawrence have had like a really good connection in the offseason, and you're starting to see it. He's like literally an unsung hero of our team. I know I still get burnt up by the thought of why we got rid of Laviska Shenault, and I know some people were not big fans of his, and I was. A funny story. 2 days before he got traded away, I almost bought his jersey, and I believe I did a live stream 2 days before he got traded.
Yeah.
Like
The
like
painting.
wallpaper.
The painting, not the painting. The graphic.
Yeah, and it was crazy, and he ended up getting traded away. Christian Kirk has been worth every single penny that we've given him at this point in time. The dude's been absolutely incredible since he's been with us. And everybody knew he had the talent, right? 18 receptions on 27 targets, 267 yards and 3 touchdowns so far, averaging about 14.8 yards a catch. 72-yard game against, the Chargers. 78-yard game against Indianapolis, and a 117-yard game last week to, the Washington Commanders. And, say what you want, and I've said this time and time again, when you've had a sucky history as a team, you have to pay these players to come to Jacksonville. You know what I'm saying? So that's just the end all be all of that situation. Like, you want people to come to Jacksonville, you got to pay them an extraordinary amount of money, and it just is what it is. Then we head over to James Robinson and Travis Etienne, and Jamal Agnew's doing this thing in the return game and in the punt game as well. But like I said, James Robinson and Travis Etienne are 2 really good running backs. Travis Etienne is starting to get his wheels going, but we've seen the dominance of James Robinson since week 1. And people are like, why didn't we use him more? Since last year before the injury. And look, 100 yards is first, 100 yards the first week. I'm sorry, 66 yards the first week, 64 yards the second week, and 100 yards against the Chargers. Sorry, I had my schedule flip-flop. I know I said Washington. When we played them last week, that was actually the first week of the season. He's had a touchdown in each one of those games and had a receiving touchdown week one against Washington. So the guy is getting better. He's like a choo-choo train, man. He gets better every time that he's out there, and I'm excited for his maturation process. And then Trevor Lawrence. I mean, I haven't been the biggest Trevor Lawrence fan. I've had that on record. I'm still not on the train yet. But he's been balling out. 6 touchdowns, 1 interception so far. He's taken 2 sacks. He's been playing really, really well. He's had, 230 plus yard passing games the last 3 weeks as well, and really has rallied his team to 2 wins. An impressive win over against Indianapolis, but we've been smashing them since 2017 or whatever it is now. So they haven't done really anything against us, and we've owned them in the NFC South for a very, very long time now. But with that being said, Trevor Lawrence is playing really, really well. I'll give my full evaluation on if I think this kid is going to be that guy by week 8. I don't think Washington has played impressively. Indianapolis hasn't played impressive. And if I had to be very critical of the win that we had against the Chargers, look, I don't think Justin Herbert was healthy enough in that game. He was throwing really weird. Rashawn Slater got hurt. Joey Bosa got hurt. J.C. Jackson doesn't look the same. So, I know I'm being very critical of the quarterback. I do want him to be good, but I just can't put the label of generational quite yet because, averaging 6.7 yards a completion and 6.5 against the Washington game, like those aren't impressive to me quite yet when you see quarterbacks doing way better than that. But, hey, he's on my team. I got to deal with what I got to deal with, and he's playing really well, so I can't complain. But I'm not on a Trevor Lawrence train like everybody else.
Hey, that's fair enough. I've been critical of Hurts, especially last year as well. And you being critical of your quarterback means that you're not biased and you're not afraid to say it. And again, you were a quarterback in high school, so you know this stuff, the ins and outs. So, if you don't think Trevor, you said by week 8 you're going to evaluate him, so you're still going to be giving him a chance. So I think that's extremely fair. By the way, you said NFC South. I think you meant to say AFC South.
Yeah, AFC South. Yep.
Okay. No, that's all good. That's all good. And, even though you said you're going to evaluate him week 8, you also did say he's been playing a great game, even if the opponents, just like you said. Hey, Indianapolis Colts, you guys own them in Jacksonville. Like, Indianapolis Colts and Jacksonville are just, they never come to fruition. They can never win in that stadium. And I don't know why. Is it a curse? Is it just they just can't play well in that environment? I don't know. But they just never do in that environment. I absolutely have no idea why. But,
it's not like we're some world beater team either, but
exactly.
This is what it is. Like a win is a win. I'll take it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's just don't know what's going on with them in Jacksonville. But hey, even though you said you're going to evaluate him in week 8, just going back to my point, you still said he was playing some really, really great football, and I do agree with you with that. You said 6 touchdowns, 1 interception, 2 sacks taken. Huge step for Trevor, and I know it's just week 4. And we're going to see how he does against this really, really good Eagles defense. And I'm being a little biased, but I think our defense is honestly really, really solid in each and every unit, especially linebackers. Linebackers have improved a lot. I remember when he had Alex Singleton, who's now a Denver Bronco. I actually like Singleton, but in his last year here, it just did not look as productive. And how the linebackers just glowed up for us this year, it's just really, really nice to see. But going back to your point, Trevor Lawrence still playing some great football so far. Doug Peterson, that's the guy who got us to our 4th Super Bowl ring, and now make the Jacksonville Jaguars look like a really, really solid team, even if it's early in the season. Hey, kudos to Doug. Hey, when he comes back to Philly, I don't want to hear a single boo from that man at all. When he comes out of that tunnel,
you can't guarantee that. How Philly fans are. They're all emotional.
Hate to admit it, but you have a point. But when I'm on my TV, sadly I can't be. I've never really been to an NFL game, which is terrible. I should be going to an NFL game, but not even an Eagles game at all. And I'm not going to be at that stadium. But when Doug's going to be on that sideline, I'm going to be cheering him on because it's not a guy you should boo. Hey, he got us our literal first Super Bowl in franchise history. I don't know how you can boo a man like that, but we'll see what happens in the link. Hopefully, people do not boo him.
Yeah.
But yeah, there you go.
I was going to go to that game, and I still might. It just depends on how cheap the tickets are going to get between now and tomorrow.
That is true. I mean, hey, honestly, I honestly think nosebleeds are the best seats. I'm just saying, it's an opinion, but I mean, the nosebleeds, you get a good view of the game. They're cheaper than other seats.
It's not the only
saying.
bad seats, I'll tell you from experience.
Midfield.
The only bad seats are midfield's fine too. The bad seats are end zone to end zone. That's where you start running into issues because as soon as your team is driving down the opposite side of the field, it's a lot harder to see exactly what's going on. So
that is true.
That's really the only bad part. But when they do come your way, it is pretty cool too. So they're like the worst seats and the best seats all at one time. So
that's true.
Yeah, I just had to throw that in there. Like midfield seats are pretty good, but I do agree. Like nosebleed seats are not bad as well. So
yeah. I mean, you just said it. The end zones could be good, very good or very bad. I mean, it can be very good, especially if you're in Lambeau and the Packers' offense is coming near you. And let's say, I don't know, Sammy Watkins, Aaron Jones runs in for the touchdown. They can do a Lambeau leap and land right on you and get to actually, I know it sounds weird, but you get to actually be near an NFL player. Like he's right next to you. So, yeah. Lambeau Field, too. Really historic stadium. You know, if I ever have, a chance to go, that's definitely on my bucket list, even though I'm an Eagles fan. So, really quickly, just want to say that. But continuing, Trevor Lawrence, I really love when high overall, especially high overall quarterbacks do really well. I never want to see them be bust whatsoever. I really do want to see them succeed. And Trevor Lawrence, when he
I'm the same way.
Wait, say that again?
No, I'm saying I'm the same way. I'm very critical of the quarterback, and I'm very critical of Trevor Lawrence. Do I hope he turns out to be generational like everybody says that he is and has the potential to be? I hope we get that. If not, it's going to be a very painful next 10 years for us.
That is true. But any rookie quarterback, I'd love to see them succeed. And Trevor Lawrence, when he had that first year, to be fair, that was an Urban Meyer coached offense. And I just want to quickly say, Urban Meyer, horrible coach, horrible person. I'm glad you're out of the NFL. He was literal just toxic. All right,
Once a Gator, always a Gator. There's a reason why all those players that played. All those players that played in Florida, they have like a whole 30 for 30 on how bad that team was from, having a serial killer basically on their team. Like that team was not. We're full of not the best people ever. But I mean, is that his fault? I don't know. I'm not putting all the blame on him, but as a Florida State fan, as you can see, once a Gator, always a Gator, and I never liked him in the first place. So
that's true. Yeah, I didn't really. Well, actually, wasn't he also Ohio State head coach? And I'm a Penn State fan, so I wasn't even a big fan of him either because Ohio State keeps beating us up every single year, and I'm sick of it. So I hope this year that can finally change for Penn State. But,
quarterbacks, I mean, quarterbacks in general that come over from college, that come to the NFL, never really turn out to be good. I mean, look at Matt Rule right now. Not good. You can be very critical of Cliff Kingsbury. He's not had the best track record so far.
Yeah.
The only successful coaches that have ever coached, college successful when he came over to the NFL was Pete Carroll and Jimmy Johnson from back in the day when he came and went from Miami to the Cowboys. Like, I'm sure there's another one out there that I'm forgetting, but those are the two that come to mind right now, and that's it's not a good percentage.
Yeah, that's true. I also think I don't know, maybe Harbaugh can be in that list as well. I mean, did make a Super Bowl for the 49ers team, so
that's true. Yeah, that's probably the one I'm forgetting. Jim Harbaugh was, say what you want. I mean, they were always in the playoffs and they made a Super Bowl, and you can't take that away from them.
True, yeah.
And all those Stanford years with him and remember, Andrew Luck was his quarterback, and your boy Zach Ertz was their tight end.
Yes, sir. Dude, I still miss Ertz so much. I can't wait to play in week 5 though.
I still thought he had a lot of gas in the tank too. So
Yeah,
and he's showing it that he still can play.
yeah,
So
absolutely. Yeah. And yeah, I'm sorry, I don't mean to rush, but we're having such an excellent conversation right now. We just lost track of time. This is extremely fun, but I do need to kind of pick it up here. I apologize because we're already 35
sure.
minutes in there. All right, so yeah, I'm gonna just basically Trevor Lawrence. Okay, that's it. I'm done talking about him now. I need to move on to others. Sorry, but just bottom line, love how he's playing right now. Let's see if he can do it week 4. Let's see if he's actually all that by week 8, just like you said. All right. Running backs for you guys. I am so happy James Robinson is healthy again and he's playing some consistent, productive, and great football. You saw that big run against the Chargers as well. I know I don't mean to cherry pick plays, but I mean James Robinson has been really solid for you guys right now, and again he's healthy. So is Travis Etienne Jr., who suffered that injury last year, and he was a rookie, and he's paired up with Trevor Lawrence as they were Clemson teammates. And he's also making a name for himself behind James Robinson as RB2. So basically, I don't want to be overconfident about this running back core, this offense in general. I mean, going to your wide receivers, Christian Kirk, when the news came out, I'll admit it, absolutely, I will admit it, I was really critical of how much money y'all paid him. But like you said, he's been every penny worth for this Jaguars offense. He's been playing great football. Yeah, exactly.
It just is what it is. Like I told you, man. Like when I think everybody once I said the argument to him because a lot of people just looked at the paycheck, but they don't. They also don't understand. Like you come to Jacksonville, this probably was not his first choice, so we had to pay him. I mean, that convinces people to come to Jacksonville. Allen Robinson said himself out of Penn State, "I did not want to go to Jacksonville." Players don't want to come and play here because we don't have the history of success. They got to go play for the Panthers, which had the same inaugural year as us as being a team because they've been to 2 Super Bowls. They've had a winning culture. They've won their division multiple times. Like, it's hard to convince a player not to come to Jacksonville without paying them the money. So I think once I made that argument to people, they're like, "Yeah, you're right." I'm like, "It's absolutely true." Not a lot of people are. I mean, you're not going to convince me to come there for a lot of money because I'm a Jaguars fan if I was a player. But to somebody like Christian Kirk, I'm sure the compelling side of that argument was the money that was being spent to bring him there.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm not afraid to eat my words at all. I was dead wrong about Christian Kirk. And I'll admit, I did just see that money. It's like, what are the Jaguars doing? Well, they were doing something extremely right because of how Christian Kirk is playing at his level. By the way, it says Jay Jones is questionable, and that is, well, I mean, for us, I mean, obviously injuries are terrible, but that will help us out a little bit because Jay Jones, remember, he was a Las Vegas Raider. I believe, it was last season, right? You guys picked him up this year, I believe.
Yep, he was Oakland Raider before.
Oakland, Las Vegas, yeah. The first one, the Raiders.
Yeah, Las Vegas, yeah.
No, that's all good.
It's cool, man. I still call the Rams the St. Louis Rams. So
that's true. I mean, it was hard.
And the San Diego Chargers.
San Diego Chargers. They should have never moved out of San Diego, but Dean Spanos is greedy and he just moved them. So it is what it is. But yeah, Marvin Jones Jr. as well as a wide receiver. That's a wide receiver 3 right there. I mean, that wide receiver core looks really, really nice as well. So. That is
Marvin Jones Jr. is one of the most underrated wide receivers, man. I was glad that they brought him to Jacksonville. And he likes being in Jacksonville too. So I'd say let's keep him as long as we can.
Yeah, man. You guys made moves this season, especially Brandon Scherff from the offensive line. I want to segue into that. Former Washington Commander or football team Redskins, however you want to call them. But I'm happy you took him out of Washington's hands. He was actually a really, really consistent piece of that Washington offensive line, and one of the how do you say it? Just one of the guys you would know coming from Washington, especially on an offensive line. And I'm so glad you guys got him off of our hands because he's not playing bad whatsoever right now, and he's just listed as right guard right now. And you also talked about that right side, Jawan Taylor as well, playing lights out football right now. So hey, this is going to be so fun to watch your offense against our defense. It's going to honestly be a really big battle. I think this game will be much closer than it really is, to be honest with you. But
I agree. you said a trap game. I don't think it's necessarily a trap game because I think they're going to play us hard. I just think for right now, week 4 victors are going to, we'll get into our prediction. I'm not going to say that.
Yeah. Hey, prediction is last. We gotta keep it. I know it's hard because I really want to say the score already. I kind of have an idea for the score as well, but we'll get there for sure. So 40 minutes, and that was the intro and our offenses total. Like you can tell, we're having a lot of fun talking here. I know right now Vic 3 is streaming, so I really wish you could see that right now. But I'm sure, he always has a replay. We can go ahead and watch as well. Vic 3, another member of the East Coast Gridiron podcast. So just so you know,
Okay.
Don, the stats guy as well. Cannot forget Don. He even has a Evan McPherson jersey in his room when you see his camera too. He's big fan of Evan.
That's his last name. He's got to represent the McPherson.
Oh yeah, Don McPherson. Yeah, sometimes I always wondered why do you have that jersey? It's like, well, gotta represent the McPhersons.
That's why he has it.
Yeah, and I mean Evan McPherson, even if he's not showing it this year, he's still clutch last year and he's like excellent. I mean, he
made a 64-year-old kick last night.
Wow, dude.
He still got it.
Still got it, but I mean, you can admit he had a slow start. I'm just saying, but
he did.
Yeah, but that's what it is. We all have those games, football players, anyways, and I'm
for sure
glad he's back to that as of now. But yeah, and I mean, he did send the Bengals to the Super Bowl last year. He's clutch, so
yeah, he's real good,
for sure. All right, let's finally move on to the defenses. And Dante, actually, I paired the Jaguars offense and defense segments, like I said, pre-recording, and now the floor is yours again. Talk us through this Jaguars defense.
Well, the Jaguars defense is a very interesting squad. I wouldn't have thought in a million years that we would have played as well as we are playing right now, so I'm going to just go ahead and say that. Man, we've been keeping teams under 12 points per game so far. Third down efficiency has been really good. Against are really bad against our defense, which is really good for us. But Devin Lloyd has been such a surprise to some, but not to me because I knew he was great in college, and that's the guy that I wanted to come to Jacksonville. If we were to choose anybody in the draft, and we got him. I know we picked up, some pieces in the offseason for Yosadi Alokun, who's a linebacker who's been very, very decent. He's got 22 tackles, so he's number 2 on our team in tackles. Andre Sisco stepping up at the safety position. Rashawn Jenkins is also stepping up. Tyson Campbell has been a really good surprise on the corner side as well. But, the guys that we have to talk about are Trayvon Walker and Josh Allen. And I was so glad that we didn't pick up Aiden Hutchinson, but we went after Trayvon Walker instead. I really wanted Kayvon Thibodeau, but, I'm so glad that he's been healthy and he's been starting for us on the other side of Josh Allen. And, they're switching these guys around and trying them out in different spaces, and they're playing really, really good football, especially Josh Allen. Shaquille Griffin, I know, is battling the injury, but he's been playing really, really well as well. Fuller Fudakasi, he plays defensive tackle, and I know he's got a couple run stuffs as well, but I would like to see more out of him week to week. And maybe he's just getting used to the new scheme, down here in Jacksonville. But overall, this defense has been playing great. One of the top defenses in the NFL, and this is one thing that I would say, and I've actually said before, I did not think that we were going to have a great defense this year, especially in our secondary, and they've been stepping up to the plate every single week. And I'm happy. I'm happy that they're having success. I'm happy that they're putting the offense out on the field sooner than expected. I'm glad they're giving our offense chances to actually run down the field and score. And more importantly, I'm glad that the pick of Devin Lloyd is showing up. 6 passes defended so far, 2 interceptions, 24 total tackles. Like, the guy's an absolute monster. It reminds me of when Telvin Smith was playing linebacker for us. He was a really good piece out of Florida State. And we know that he's gotten to some legal issues, which we're not going to mention here. You guys can go look up the case if you want to. But Devin Lloyd has really filled in, and he reminds me of a mixture between Miles Jack and Telvin Smith put together. He's a really good player, and I was so upset when we got rid of Miles Jack. Like, I was sick to my stomach. It's very refreshing to have a young player in there because Miles Jack has been with us for a while, or was with us for a while, and we're just getting younger on the defensive side. So this team's going to be together for a very long time. Kalavon Chason was a waste of a draft pick a couple of years ago. That dude is a first round bust. I believe he was drafted in the first round. The dude is not, he's not. Yeah, he was drafted in the first round, 2020. He's not good. I wish we could get rid of him, but nobody's going to want to take him. And I want to see Arden Key step up a little bit more. I know he's got 1 sack on the season. We got him over from Oakland. Sorry, Eric, our SC experience is stealing from you guys, but Arden Key's been a really good surprise for us as well. So I like to see more surprises as the season goes on, and I like to see what's in our bag of tricks as well. So I don't expect them to slow down. And I expect us to put a lot of pressure on Jalen Hurts in that run game this week. And even in the passing game, I think we're going to play them very, very physical. And Jalen's going to want to get the ball out more, which we know with Jalen Hurts, the more he, has to hesitate and not read, his progressions, the more frustrated he gets. I don't think he's going to be able to use his legs like he thinks he will this week. And this is going to be one of those interesting times where he might get himself into a little bit of trouble. So I'm very excited. Let's just put it like that. I'm very excited to see this defense work some more. And like I said, we don't have a lot of those star-struck names that a lot of other people have, that people usually say. But I'm sure, outside of Josh Allen, but everybody always thinks of the quarterback Josh Allen when we talk about it. But Josh Allen is definitely our superstar player. Devin Lloyd is making himself a superstar, and I like that our defense is kind of being underlooked because you don't really know who the real, generational piece is yet. And it seems like we just have a bunch of young, hungry guys that are ready to go. So I'm excited, man. This is going to be a really good game defensively for both teams.
Hey, when you said, one of your goals is, to stop that Hurts running ability and stuff, that terrifies me. Yeah, if that happens, that's going to be really, not overly detrimental to our offense, but again, that is one of the big parts of this offense. Jalen Hurts extending those plays. And you
this will be the first week you guys are going to be in trouble. I'm telling you.
I know.
It's not going to be easy to run the ball.
No, look, I definitely agree with you. I'm not underlooking this defense. This defense actually gets me really nervous. Look, by the way, it says here, you guys are on a 3-4 defense, so for your weak side, you have Josh Allen, who we've already talked about. And by the way, Josh Allen does own the quarterback, Josh Allen, if you do remember that Jaguars-Bills game.
Oh, yeah, he did. He did own him. He came out and said he was the better Josh Allen that day, so that was fun.
Exactly. That was a very funny game, too. No offense, but that was a very low-scoring game. It was like 9-6 at the end, or 6-3. I don't know. It was low scoring, but Jaguars still got the win against the juggernaut of the Buffalo Bills. Mm-hmm. So really interesting to see that day, especially how Josh Allen had an interception, sack, and fumble on Josh Allen, the quarterback. I believe those were the stats. So hey, look, Josh Allen for your weak side. You already talked about for your left interior linebacker. See, I looked at the ESPN depth chart and I saw WLB and SLB. I did not know what those were, but now I know weak side linebacker, strong side linebacker. And this is a 3-4. So those are your edge rushers because you have a 3-4, right? So does that mean Allen and Trayvon Walker will be your edge rushers or no?
You got it. That's definitely what that means.
Okay. All right. Yeah, there you go. Basically, 3 different defensive linemen. There's 1 nose tackle, 2 defensive ends tackle, like an interior and then outside and then 4. Okay, see here, even on stream, I'm learning new stuff, so that's amazing. All right,
strong side backer, strong side backer is always lined up on the side where there's no tight end.
I see.
Or with the most players. So if you had if you had two wide receivers and a tight end, that would be the weak side. That's definitely he could get blocked for any one of those. So whatever has less players on one side is the strong side. Whatever has the most players on one side is the weak
Yeah,
factor. Basically, is how you look at it.
yeah, that makes sense because the weak side linebacker is a tight end, and most players on their side is going to be tough. Try to get around them. But the
Mm-hmm.
strong side, has more of an opening, and they get through. That makes a lot of sense, honestly. And
Yep.
and just like we were just talking about the weak side and the strong side, you guys have two really good outside linebackers. You have Devin Lloyd. No, sorry. Josh Allen, Trayvon Walker. First overall pick of the draft. He has been impressing me this season. I mean, Josh Allen has also been really, really great guy for this Jaguars defense. Again, you said you don't really have a lot of star players and names but Josh Allen, even though he shares the name with a very, very popular quarterback, and you can argue one of the best quarterbacks. No, not like one of the best quarterbacks in this league as of right now, an MVP candidate. You can argue that, but he has to go along with him because they share the same name. But he's still Josh Allen, the weak side linebacker, is still really well known, and then that's going to be from their edge rushers, and that's not even all of their defensive line and linebackers too. And they still have really great pieces on each side of them. I mean, you have Devin Lloyd, who's in the interior, Foyesade Olakun, who was an Atlanta Falcon, who was really productive for them as well. So your linebackers, they look, dude. I'm not trying to overreact, but they terrify me. I'm not even gonna lie to you. This is really.
We probably low key have. I don't want to speak out of term here, but the way that they've been playing, they're top 5 right now, if not top 3, if not number 1 right now in the NFL. Like, I think you can make an argument for either one. You can see why they'd be top 5 based off potential. By production, you can see why they could be top 3, and by talent and production, you can see why they're probably number 1 in the league. And that's not an exaggeration. I mean, they've been playing that damn good together, and that's been a total eye-opening surprise to me. And I think in the middle of that field, and that's why I said, based off our linebacker play, running the ball and keeping Jalen contained in a 3-4 defense, that 3-4 defense is going to be nightmarish for you guys on Sunday. It's not going to.
That's true.
I hope you guys can prepare against it. But you have guys that can drop back in coverage as well as tackle and as well as pass rush on at both phases of the game. So, good luck. That's what I have to say to Philadelphia fans. Good luck.
Now that you're getting me even more nervous, and oh wow, oh my God, Sunday. I mean, yeah, I think we will be prepared for it. It's just we cannot consider this a pushover game. This is absolutely not a pushover game. I don't know why we think that. With the offense, how Jalen Hurts is leading this team, I don't even think they think this is a pushover game as well. But if they think it is, then they're wrong. You better prepare for this Jaguars team. And the secondary, too. You've been saying, Rashawn Jenkins isn't having a good season. Shaquille Griffiths is questionable. And, it says Chris Claybrooks is behind them. What are your thoughts on him, just really quick?
Chris Claybrooks, he's okay. He doesn't really stand out to me quite yet. I think Tyson Campbell has been the more impressive out of the 3 so far. But, I mean, when you make it so easy on the front 7, it makes everybody's job a lot easier, too. And both the safeties, Andre Cisco and Rashawn Jenkins, have been stepping up. So, inside the nickel play, and I know they do swap them out quite often there, too. All good corners should be able to play all phases of secondary outside of safety. So, he's been okay. I wouldn't say that I've been overly impressed. More so, I think Tyson Campbell has been a very bright spot in our defense right now. So he's one of those young guys that you have to really look out for. Again, another name that really doesn't jump out on the big board to you. You know what I'm saying? But he is a legitimate threat.
Yeah. Hey, I mean, exactly. You just said Tyson Campbell has been, the best out of those 3 as well. But that doesn't mean don't care about Rashawn Jenkins, Shaquille Griffin, even though he's questionable for this game, and Andre Cisco. That's what also really scares me. This defense looks complete for the Jacksonville Jaguars. This is going to be a big test to us, Week 4. I mean, I know you already said, Chargers had issues with defense. Joey Bosa out, Rashawn Slater out. Herbert was clearly not 100% for that game. I mean, dude, Herbert is an absolute trooper. I mean, he's suffering with a really bad injury, and he's still going out there and making throws. And it's just kudos to Herbert, but again, he's still not 100%. Anyways, no matter what you think about that.
No, I felt like that was kind of a trap game for us because of the fact it's like we didn't get a full grown man team that game. I mean, I don't know how else to say it. Like, I don't think Justin Herbert was all the way healthy, and that's sad to say that I think we got half of the team that we should have played, and Joey Bosa wasn't there for most of the game. So, it wasn't a good game for us to prepare us for the Eagles. Definitely, I wish they would have all been healthy. And it's one of those games where you don't hope that your team loses, but I was hoping that we would have came out of there with a loss against a really good Chargers team, and then been even more hungry to play you guys. Not that we're taking you guys lightly because of Doug Peterson's on our team, but it does add a little bit of more motivational things that they could have did better. Because those two teams are stacked. Like, Eagles on paper are stacked, and the Chargers are stacked on paper as well when they are both healthy. And that's the only difference is I don't think the Chargers are all the way healthy for the game.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you make a great point. I mean, if that Chargers team was healthy, and even if you lose to that really great Chargers healthy team, and you barely lost that game, then that gives you a lot of preparation for this game. But even with the win you had against that heavily injured Chargers team, I mean, it's still impressive what I saw from the Jacksonville Jaguars. It looked really well, and before the season, I will admit, I thought the Jaguars were going to improve, but they'd still have some growing pains, etc. The team should have, especially coming off, all those losing seasons you guys have. But I knew you guys were going to improve because of new personnel and Doug Peterson as your head coach. And I thought this game wouldn't be like really, really easy, but I think it would be a solid win for us. But now it's going to be even more tough for us now. So yeah. Yeah, that's all I have to say for the defense. Wish I could have spoke a little bit about it, but we're almost at the 1 hour mark. Let's go to the Eagles defense. Let's go to my defense. I'll be taking the reins on this one. And I have somebody who I want to talk about who is our nickel cornerback. You obviously know the name Avonte Maddox. I believe he has been listed as out for this game, which really, really upsets me because he is a nickel cornerback. And even last year, he has proven to be great at that spot. And right now, he is not allowed anything as a nickel cornerback, or at least little to anything. So that hurts. But, no pun intended. But, let's go to our defense. Base 4-3 is what we on. 4 defensive line, 3 linebackers. All right? You obviously know what happened to Wentz that game. He could not get anything going. It was a mixture of him holding the ball too long, watching the offensive line and their woes, etc., etc. But, I mean, hey, we still got the pressure. We still got the job done. I was really critical of the pressure last year, and even this year I was starting to get critical. I was like, Jonathan Gannon, I've learned that, blitzes, I kept saying, come on, blitz is going to bring pressure, but actually that's not the case. You can create a lot of good pressure without a blitz, and I've just matured and realized that. So even so, we still got that big pressure in Washington, even if we didn't blitz. So we've gone way better with that. Obviously, Brandon Graham and Fletcher Cox, the 2 veterans, still on this defensive line. They've still got it. Javon Hargrave, who broke out last season, I believe also had a sack or 2 last game. So that's nice to see Javon Hargrave still a consistent part of this defensive line, even though it's his second year here. Josh Sweat keeps improving year by year. I love what Josh Sweat has been doing this season. This defensive line. Also, Jordan Davis, we've been in the preseason too. We've been critical of why are we putting Marlon Tuipulotu over Jordan Davis, and when Jordan Davis was on the field, the run was that was the Lions. That was week 1 against the Lions. The run was getting worse for Detroit when he was on. I mean, he's not the only reason for that, but it did make a difference, right? So Jordan Davis is also that rookie, and the fact that he's huge and he's still a rookie and he's still young means when, sadly, I hate to say this, Brandon Graham and Fletcher Cox are not on this team anymore, and they've retired and gone to another team, Jordan Davis can be the next man up and be there in the interior defensive line, which really excites me, by the way. And let's go to our linebackers. Oh, boy, what a glow-up. Kaiser White, who I love the pickup from the Los Angeles Chargers. He's been having a great season. I know he's been having a great season, but I'm not trying to overshadow him. Let's go to TJ Edwards, middle linebacker. Give this man his respect. He's been lights out this year so far. He's been doing great at the middle linebacker spot, especially on the pass, in the run. He's been doing it all. He's been doing great at the middle linebacker. And TJ Edwards and Marcus Epps, I was nervous for them, and they've proved me wrong badly. They've been, CJ Gardner-Johnson, Marcus Epps too, and the safety. We were a lot of Eagles fans are concerned about that secondary depth, especially for the safeties. But I think we got our 2 starting safeties right here. We don't need to make any other moves for the safeties at all. I think we're fine where we are with our safety core.
I agree.
Yeah. And Hassan Reddick, I know I'm not saying this to take a shot at you, but I know you've been really critical of Hassan Reddick, and I'm going to be honest. I'm a little disappointed in him right now. I'm not saying I'm completely disappointed. I've just given up on him the entire season. No, it's still early in the season. I think.
I mean, a lot of those sacks that he got in the last game were off of a lot of other people doing a lot of the work.
The assists, that was more Fletcher Cox, Brandon Graham, and Josh.
Yeah, and I tried to tell people, all you have to do, you don't even have to watch the film. Just go watch. Just go look at the stats. Go look at his splits between all the other teams. All the teams that you see that he got sacks against were not that great or in a very vulnerable position as far as where they were scheduled. All the other teams that he didn't get sacks against or had a really bad performance against were all really good teams, like the Buccaneers. So, I'm critical on him, and I'm not the type to say just because somebody's back in their home with their home team or in their home state that they're going to be like lights out and this amazing team. But it's just one of those things that you always have to keep your head on the swivel about. Everything's not what it seems, and you got to get people turned into good players. And I don't necessarily think that he's a great player, and I think his stats overshadow it literally and truly of how good of a player that he actually is. But not to go over and take over your defensive rant here, but I just have to call that out.
Yeah, no, it's all good. I definitely do agree with you. As much as I love Hassan Reddick coming back to his home state, it's disappointing for me right now. I'm sorry, Hassan. That's no hate to you whatsoever. I believe you can absolutely pick it up, but I mean that's up to you, Hassan. I mean, obviously if a player is slumping, then the player just got to go to the weight room, the field. They got to work on that, and they just can't be in a slump forever. And I don't think he'll be in a slump forever, but right now it just doesn't really look right for me for Hassan. But other than that, kind of on a negative here, I just want to end on a positive. Even with Hassan Reddick struggling, this early in the season, at least our other linebackers in Kaiser White and TJ Edwards are still doing a phenomenal job. So good job to them. And Hassan, again, I don't mean that as hate, but I think you can improve it. That's up to you if you do want to improve and just improve on your game in general. So that's all I really got to say. But we'll see. We'll see. We'll see if he even improves this game. We'll have to see about that because I don't know. We're gonna have to see. And then it's only week 4, so I'm gonna take it with a grain of salt, anyways. But let's move on to the cornerbacks. It's just the last thing I'm gonna say because I'm on the last unit of the team. So it's part of the secondary, but Darius Slay, James Bradbury, Amonte Maddox, even though he's out, lockdown. Our secondary has been excellent this year. Safeties, cornerbacks. I know this is cherry picking. I did not mean to cherry pick, I promise, but I'm just saying that Minnesota Vikings game, Justin Jefferson did Barely got any, like, when he was targeted, Slay, of course. Barely got anything. I mean, I'm just saying, Darius Slay is one of the best cornerbacks in the NFL, and it's showing this season. I mean, hey, I think that Vikings game, dude, he should have honestly had, 3 picks this game? He had a lot of opportunities for those interceptions. Also had an opportunity in Detroit as well, where he dropped that one. It was like, I saw someone, I don't know if it's on Discord or on Twitter, say that's why Darius Slay is not a wide receiver. That's why he's a cornerback. Which, I mean, is a little harsh, but I mean, Slay, you got to catch those interceptions, my guy. Those are stats waiting for you there. But it doesn't matter. I mean, honestly, it doesn't matter at the end of the day. The Vikings game, he had 2 interceptions. He's locked down on Justin Jefferson. Played excellent coverage. Avonte Maddox has been playing excellent coverage. James Bradbury, too. I don't know, I've not been a huge fan of PFF, but I think there was a stat where they were all top 10 in coverage ratings or some sort of defensive stat, which I really love that. And James Bradbury, a former division rival, coming here to the Eagles. And you remember, we got Darius Slay from his former team in Detroit, who we played week 1, and we also played Detroit last season. And Howie, just going to go out on a limb here and say, yup, I'm not trying to throw our fan base under the bus, but myself included and a lot of Eagles fans wanted Howie gone. And I don't blame them. I mean, he's been a salary cap guru, but this draft choices, actually, I do remember when we drafted Jalen Hurts, I just started, I'm not even lying to you, I wouldn't have minded Jalen Hurts being picked in the later round, but for a second-round pick, at first I started laughing. I could not believe it, but then I didn't realize how Jalen Hurts is doing so great now. Did not realize at that time how he would turn out. So, it worked out in the end. But even with Howie, picking Arcega-Whiteside over DK and Jalen Reagor over Justin Jefferson, who ironically is now a Minnesota Viking with Justin Jefferson, he still rebounded after that. He got A.J. Brown this year in the draft. I said I wanted Devontae Smith in this draft. The quarantine draft, not quarantine draft, the year after the quarantine draft, when it was in Cleveland, if you remember that. I wanted Devontae Smith right there and then, and how he got me there. I really loved Devontae Smith. I didn't care about his size whatsoever. His speed, especially his route running, he can get open, and he can make guys look silly, which he was doing against the Commanders game. So Howie definitely improved on himself in the offseason he had. I'll admit, I was wrong about Howie. I mean, back then, yeah, he frustrated me a lot, but Howie has definitely rebounded and improved as the general manager of this Philadelphia Eagles team. So that was a quick side note. I think that's all I really wanted to say about this defense, and now we can. I know these segments have been really fun, but now we're getting into the really, really fun ones. We're gonna get to the keys to the game. This is going to be my segment now, and I'll make sure, I know you've been sitting there for a while, I'll make sure to get you your segment for the Jaguars keys to the game. But for me, hold on, let me go to my notes app and just type them in so I don't forget them. All right, so the plan for the keys to the game, I did forget to tell you this, is I have at least one offensive key to the game and one defensive key to the game at the very least. Right. So my first offensive key to the game, a little weird because our offensive line is really good, but I need our offensive line to be in our A game this game. That's my first key to the game. Very few mistakes, especially going up against that Jaguars front seven. The weak side, strong side linebackers. Interior linebackers too, and of course, defensive line. You cannot forget the Jaguars. Hold on, got his name. Folorunso Fatukasi. I hope I pronounced his name right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank God. I mean, that was a little hard to see at first. Davon Hamilton, Roy Robertson Harris. I'm not saying they're going to get complete help from the linebacker core, but that linebacker core will also help out the defense. It goes both ways. That defensive line will complement the linebacker core really well. And I know our offensive line is really good, but if we do not block well, it's not going to be a fun time for offense, that's for sure. Even if Hurts is mobile and can get out the pocket. It's not going to be fun. Not going to be fun whatsoever.
Right.
So, even though Hurts has that mobile ability, he's still improved greatly as a passer. Please get pass blocking up to a T this game. I know we can do it. I know our offensive line's capable of doing it, but for this game, very little mistakes. We cannot afford to have costly penalties that will set us back yardage or set us back downs. We need to really be great this game with the offensive line, right? And my second offensive key to the game is, I know, I just said how good that Jaguars front seven is, and I'm still saying this, but I want to see the run blocking and the running backs be really great this game as well, because they did not get it going against Washington. Is that going to be extremely tough? Absolutely, but with the offensive line, our running backs, if Miles Sanders finds an open hole, you've seen it many times. Doesn't matter if it's the Pittsburgh game, New Orleans game, he will explode. The Buffalo game even, he will explode and has the speed to get the first downs, shiftiness to find an open hole. That is what Miles Sanders is about. But we just need to give him an opportunity for that, and Kenneth Gainwell as well. And it's Boston Scott. We won't really use him in the red zone because obviously he is out for this game, which sucks. But Miles Sanders, Kenneth Gainwell, next man up. So even though Miles is already a running back once, so you know what I mean. But yeah, those are my two offensive keys to the game. Offensive line needs to be at their game. Need to make more of an emphasis on the run. I want to see because you never know. I mean, the pass rush may get to us. We get sacked, we lose yardage. Then we have to go to our second weapon, which is the rushing game. Our rushing game was the best in the league last year, and the fact that we didn't even start very well in the rushing game last year, and we got most rushing yards in the NFL is really that's our bread and butter right there. Obviously, the pass has been doing good, but with Hurts' mobile ability, paired up with our running backs, offensive line, our rushing attack can be really, really dangerous. So basically, don't forget about the rushing game at all. I know we had problems with that last year, but I think we can do it. Right. Let me just say here. There you go. Defensive keys to the game. I might have just one or two for this one. Let me think about it really good. I don't know. I've said pressure the quarterback multiple times. Every preview video, and I do want to be more creative than that because rushing the quarterback is also something you don't really have to say. It's something you're expected to do anyways in this game. But I think this does sound a little dumb, but don't treat this Jaguars offense as beatable. It can be, but you don't want to have that mindset at the start of the game because of how well this Jaguars offense has improved under Coach Peterson, who's also our former head coach. Hey, offensive line for the Jaguars does not look bad whatsoever, and paired up with the running back game as well. You know how we did against the Vikings game and Commanders game, we did stop the run really well, but you remember that Detroit game with DeAndre Swift and Jamal Williams? Oh boy, it was really, really tough to see, and we've improved on that. But with James Robinson and Travis Etienne, that is a dangerous running back core, and we do not want to give leeway to that. So, actually, how about? Yeah, I think overconfidence thing. I'm gonna just split it into the running backs for our defense. Stop the run, basically. Stop the run. I know I just said don't be overconfident about all this Jaguars offense, but I'm a combine the two. Don't be overconfident, and don't be overconfident about the run as well, because you do not want to get James Robinson and Travis Etienne hot as well. You do not want to get them hot. And of course, the passing game with Trevor Lawrence has improved. We've had Christian Kirk pretty much playing a great season of football so far, and he's been worth every penny, like you said. And we cannot let Trevor get hot as well. So I think for my defensive key to the game, I'll combine it to one. Don't be overconfident about this Jaguars defense, and don't let the running backs get hot. And our secondary, even though Monty Maddox has the ability to, I don't know how to stop Trevor, but he can slow him down with the defense we have. Slay against Kirk. I would assume Bradbury would be on Marvin Jones because, no, I think it'd be Marvin Jones because Zay Jones is questionable for this game, I believe. So we'll see about that. But yeah, main thing for this defensive key of the game: don't be overconfident. You do not want to be overconfident in this hot Jaguars offense. All right. So yeah, those are all my keys to the game. By the way, got to tell you, if you saw I think you might have saw this screenshot of my style of sports videos. I have like a slide with my socials at the top. On the bottom is like the current segment we're on. Then I have a slide in the
Mm-hmm.
middle that says, let's say we're talking about the offense. I say all the offensive players in the slide, stuff like that. And basically, what I'm gonna do is cut this camera in, and then when we're talking about something, I'll cut the slide in, stuff like that. About it'll make sense when we record it, but yeah, you will see on that slide right now. If you're seeing right now, I have technically three keys to the game. I kind of combined the last one. So yeah, those are my keys to the game for a Jaguars win by 1 hour 15 minutes in. And now let's go to the Jaguars key of the game. Dante, the floor is yours. This is your segment. Go ahead.
Defensively, make sure that the defense is being as exotic as possible. And what I mean by that is put your, you know, keep Trayvon Walker and Josh Allen fresh. Switch them on Jordan Mailata's side. Collectively, make sure that they're all lined up against him at different points in time, so he doesn't feel like he's comfortable at one skill set versus the other. I think that's my first key of the game, and I think everything else will take care of itself as long as we can, and I guess the other key is linebackers keep the running game contained and keep pressure on Hurts. He starts moving the ball out the pocket, the ball out of his hands faster, the more turnovers and the more, situations that we're going to have to capitalize on. As far as the offense, man, keep running the ball. I do not want to see it stop. James Robinson is the key. Don't let Trevor be overwhelmed. And then pick your spots. Pick the things that you want to exploit after the running game is working a little bit. They can't defend both at the same time. And if you're keeping the defense exotic, keep the offense exotic too by run first mentality going into the game. So, but yeah, that's the those are my keys of the game. Just keep it simple. We all know their strengths, which is Jalen getting out the pocket and Jalen having time to set his feet and throw a good ball. That needs to stop this game. And, their defense, we just can't allow them to get nine backs against us like they did last week. And I think we have the offensive line to contain that. I'm not worried about Kaiser White and the rest of those guys. I'd say watch out for or Hassan Reddick. That's something to say. But watch out for Kaiser White. So, yep, that's what I think, and those are my keys of the game.
All right. So just to confirm, you had keep the running game contained, keep pressure on Hurts for defense. Is there? Did you say anything else other than that? Because I might have zoned out for a little bit.
Keep Josh Allen and Trayvon Walker as exotic as possible. Have them switching sides, have them giving different looks to different offensive linemen. Make sure their offensive linemen are not expecting what's coming next.
Eyes
but with just one guy.
That is honestly a really nice strategy. If you switch to two, then our offensive line hopefully will not get confused. I mean, they might be. We'll see. So keep Josh Allen, Trayvon Walker switching frequently, basically, and then your offensive was keep running the ball. Don't let Trevor be overwhelmed, basically.
Yep.
Okay. Yep. Hey, sounds like a plan. We got our keys to the game, and that means we're done with both keys of the game. I don't think this will hit 2 hours quite yet. By the way, I think it'll be weird for people watching this because they already know what happened. But I think this would be a good premiere. Streams are about 1 to 2 hours as well. So, a premiere is basically a recording that's like it's broadcasted live, but you already recorded. So this would be a really good premiere, honestly. I'm going to think about that. But now we got the very, very fun part. The cherry on top for this video, not including the outro. We got the prediction, a score prediction too. Got to have that score too. Score prediction for this game. And Dante, this is your segment, and this is one of the easiest segments out there. Just say who you think will win, the score, etc., etc. You're on the floor. Who do you think will win this game?
I honestly, this is the first time I'll be saying this because I do not pick the Jaguars to win a lot. I think the Jaguars win in the length this weekend. I think it's a close game right up till the end. And I think a James Robinson score, a long run, like a 40-yard run, wins the game for us when they least expect it. And they're down on their luck, and we get a nice defensive stop to end the game. And I'm going to say that this game, 28-21, Jacksonville Jaguars.
All right. Hey, you know what? I've also got a pretty close game for my score. I think I have it locked in. I do have it like lower scoring, but it's still in the 20s. And look, I know this Jaguars team is so tough to go against, but we're at home. I know home field advantage is not the last resort whatsoever. I mean, there's still a lot of factors to this game. Doug Peterson's revenge game. He's coming back to the link. But 3-0, we're a hot team right now. I don't think we'll fully stop the Jaguars defense, Jaguars offense, at all. How do I say this? We won't completely stop them whatsoever. Just like we did the Commanders, they scored a garbage time touchdown at the end. I don't think that will happen. Instead, I'm sorry, Dante. I'm gonna do it. I don't mean to be biased, but I really think we do win this game. I think we win 24-20. It's not a blowout by any means. This is a tough game between both teams, and it comes down. I wouldn't say it comes down to the wire, but it's really close at the end, and I think we do pull it away at home to become 4-0 in the season. I mean, hopefully, the prediction is I root against my team against the Vikings, and it hurt to say, but that's just a prediction. A prediction when you're rooting. A prediction to when you think the other team's gonna win is not who you want to win. It's just your thought process. Obviously, your natural instinct is for your team to win, and you really want your team to win.
Mm-hmm.
But for this case, I'm gonna have to go with my Philadelphia Eagles. That would make your Jaguars 2-2. But I mean, this AFC South division is just it's super weird. So I wouldn't be surprised if you guys would still lead the division, even if you do lose this game. So if the Jaguars do lose this game, it's 2-2. That still could very well lead the AFC South. Of course, we'd still be leading on top of the NFC East. And again, forgot to mention this because of Dolphins' loss. By the way, I did want to mention this somewhere in the video. I know this is pretty late to say, but prayers to Tua Tagovailoa. If you did see that injury, you'd see how badly he got hurt and into the head. You saw his hands kind of curled up. It looked awful, especially from a field perspective, with Amazon showing all those replays, which wasn't necessary, but we got to see, what really happened to Tua Tagovailoa. Thankfully, though, he is conscious and he's moving in all extremities, and he's been out of the University of Cincinnati Hospital, and he's been back in. I don't know if he's back in Miami, but he's traveling with the team now. So thank God for that. But I don't mean to make this an argument. I'm just gonna say right now, I don't mean to debate on this for a while into this video. I just want to say Miami Dolphins. That is shameful. You should not have let him play that game. You saw in that Buffalo game how he's hobbling, and he did not look 100%. He just did not feel right, and he still let him play this game. And honestly, Tua should not touch a football field. I'm going to say at all this year. I mean, dude, how scary that experience was. I don't want to see him on that football field anymore. He doesn't deserve that. The Dolphins failed their own quarterback one. So, I don't want to cut this conversation short, but, we do need to wrap this video up. But I just want to say that, just to say my prayers to Tua Tagovailoa.
Yeah.
But
as a former player, as a human being, I said this on Twitter, man.
I did see that, yeah.
It makes me sick to my stomach seeing what happened. I guess I was a little bit emotional about it last night. I was telling my wife too. I hate to see things like this happen because then the human element, immediately kicks in for me. So, something needs to be done about this. I know it's a barbaric sport. I know these guys signed up for this, and it just is what it is. It's something that has to be done, man. Thoughts and prayers are with them. It could have been way worse than what it is, and he's gonna, just like all the doctors are saying, he's going to be suffering some long-term cause from all of this, and sucks to hear that. But I tend to lean on the professionals and what they say versus bias about anything. So they're saying that he is, and that's a sad story. But to me, I would sit out the whole season if I was Tua. I would not play for the Dolphins ever again, just for my own sanity. Along with this organization, they're a terrible organization now, and a lot of people had to save their players from themselves. That's what the coaches and staff are there for, is to tell people to check your ego at the door. All they know is to play football, but it makes me not want to watch the NFL. Like, to be completely honest with you, I told my wife that last night. It makes me not want to watch. And because in college we don't have these issues, man. Every single time we don't have these issues, and it's like constantly something being either brought up or a black eye for the NFL, and it absolutely sucks, and it bothers me. It's bothered me all day today thinking about it. But yeah, prayers to him and his family, and hopefully, I don't wish bad on anybody, but the Dolphins organization, with everything that's going on, that something needs to happen, man. Something needs to happen.
Exactly, and you made a great point. These guys play football. It's the medical professionals on the team that have to give the right analysis, to the football player, and they clearly did not do that. They really let him play, when he was clearly not looking right against the Buffalo game. Like, that actually gets me angry. And I also did. I'm not lying. I'm not saying this for views whatsoever. I did also get emotional. I was terrified. I was extremely terrified to see that scene with the Dolphins being gathered in midfield and Tua not moving in the stretcher. Oh boy, I never wished that on anybody. If I was in that situation, that even if I wasn't thinking straight in that situation, it'd still be terrifying. I don't wish that on anybody. That's awful. And also, I remember when Dak hurt his leg that Giants game up. Forgot which year. I don't know if it was last year or 2 years ago, but you saw him injure his leg. His leg looked terrible. And when I saw him crying at the injury card, I don't care if I'm an Eagles fan. I don't care if his team's the Cowboys. I was extremely emotional. You don't want to see that in a guy. They're human beings at the end of the day. It doesn't matter what uniform or color uniform they're wearing. It doesn't matter at the end of the day. They're human beings, okay? We treat them with respect. And that was terrible to see Dak and Tua go down like that. I know they're completely different. I mean, one was a back and head for Tua, I believe back. I think his head also got knocked on that play as well. You can see it hit the turf really hard. Dak's was a leg injury. I know they're different, but just want to get this little unexpected segment in because I want to talk about this. It's just they signed up for this, but that's still unacceptable for things like that to happen. It's a contact sport, but you never want to see that on any NFL team, any NFL player. It doesn't matter, right? So yeah, I'm sorry to everybody watching that. I don't regret talking about this at all because this is very much needed to say, but I didn't want to end this video on a down note. So let's just wrap this up here. I think this is a good ending point. 1 hour 30 minutes we clocked in. This was such a fun thing to record. It's amazing, how football just connects us, and we can talk about football hours. And anybody, even if it's just a random stranger in the street, I would love to talk football with them. That's just how the sport is. Love talking football. And Dante, I've seen you on ECG streams, videos, with your webcam, and I've never got to talk to you face to face. I've said things in your chat, and you've repeated them, but never like this. And I just want to say it was a wonderful honor to have you on here. We had so much fun. I hope you also had fun this stream too. I know I did. Having a lot of fun.
Hey, every time I get to chat with my buddies, man, it's always a good day. So I try to tell people I'm available whenever you need me. So I'm glad you guys respect my opinions and respect my knowledge and love for the game, and that's what it's all about at the end of the day.
Yeah. Hey, hopefully after this we can do more stuff together because we collaborated really well together earlier. First time we've ever Well, I mean, I do remember when I went to your stream, I called in and I only spoke for a few, but this is the really first time I've got to chat to you for a long time, face to face, just us, mano a mano. And it's been amazing. This is our first time doing it too, and it went really, really well. So, yeah, guys, this is going to be officially the end of the video. Of course, a few stuff to say in this outro, but yeah, Dante, if you could just say where we can find you, what you're all about, just one last time. Go ahead, floor is yours.
Yeah, like I always say on every show, if you just Google East Coast Gridiron, like I said, the logo should be on here somewhere by the time that Magnus gets done editing this. But
Yeah.
on the thumbnail or whatever, if you type in on Google East Coast Gridiron, we should pop up like on pretty much every platform out there. So, like I always used to say, is you don't have to subscribe or like or follow, but if you do, we appreciate it, and we hope you stay and enjoy more of the content because we do. We put out a lot of it from time to time, so hopefully you'll never get bored on our channel. There's always something to tune in for and something always different to talk about.
There we go. Yep, and absolutely. I will have his socials linked in the description. I know my descriptions can be long, but I believe, yep, after like the general description of the video title, the timestamps, you will see my socials and Dante's socials, especially on the East Coast Gridiron. But Dante is the owner and creator of the show, but of course it is a many-man operation. We got Big Play Slay, Vic 3, Papa Sora, Coach Dante, Don the Stats Guy, or sorry, Don the Stats Guru. I can't believe I just said that, but yeah, I've got all those guys.
That's Guru, yep.
Same thing, but I think Guru sounds a bit cooler anyway, so I'm gonna stick with Don the Stats Guru, and we've got all those guys, the East Coast Gridiron. But again, I said this so many times. Again, Dante, thank you so much for giving me the chance to come talk to you for a solid 1 hour and 31 minutes and to talk of this Eagles-Jaguars game. Good luck to your Jacksonville Jaguars. Hope my Eagles win this game next Sunday. It's going to be fun to watch. I'll be up in the morning ready with my Eagles hoodie, Eagles hat. I don't have a jersey yet, but with all the Eagles merch I have, and I'll be ready to watch this game on Sunday. All right? So, so for me, what is the Jaguars hashtag? Is it Duval or what is your catchphrase?
Yeah, it's a Duval, a D-U-U-U. That's 3 U's and a V-A-L.
Oh yeah.
Okay. A V-A-L, a V, yeah. Duval, D-U-U-U, V-A-L, Duval.
Duval, yeah. Obviously referencing Duval County. So for you, it's gonna be wait. First of all, let me just say this quick. I almost forgot. It almost went after me. Don't worry. So be quick. I'm just gonna say, please subscribe to the channel. Turn on bell for notifications. Again, you do not have to. I don't ever force people to do it. That's like one of the worst things you can do. If people are not interested in your content, it is what it is. But if you can, it would make my day. 256, 4 away from 260, excuse me, and I believe 44 away from 300. I do want to get to that next milestone. I know I've been growing slowly, but the fact that you guys here sticking with me, have subscribed to the channel, have been supporting me, that's all that matters. Even if I'm growing slowly, that's okay, right? Of course, like, comment on this video, or if you're in the chat right now, hope you had a fun time with this premiere, because I think that's what I'm going to be doing. Of course, my socials and Dante's socials and East Coast Gridiron socials are going to be below in the description. And that is about it. Thank you, Dante, for giving me the chance here. It's amazing to talk to you.
Yeah.
It's going to be Duval for you. It's going to be Go Birds and Fly Eagles Fly for me. I am so excited. That's about it for this video.
Yuck.
Oh my God, come on. No, don't start, bro. We came this far into the video without you doing that. But it is what it is. All right. So this is your friend Nidings and Dante from the East Coast Gridiron podcast signing out. Have a great day, guys.
Yes.